Hey folks, Real Honesty with John Ritlin. I'm John Ritlin's Rapid Fire episode 21. As I keep doing these, they'll come here and there when I feel like talking about a few subjects, like over a period of about 8 to 10 minutes. And this one, I'm going to make like one wrestling reference in it, but this is mainly going to be just stuff outside of wrestling. And I tend to talk about wrestling or a couple things that really bother me, but this one is going to be based on an article from UltimateClassicRock.com. I saw this article posted by a friend of mine on Twitter. Muggsy Sam, Karen, great person to talk to, great person, gave her a follow. This is about Gene Simmons wanting to fight, and forgive me, I'm taking a look on my tablet. Gene Simmons wants to trademark his horned hand gesture. This is a gesture I want to give to Gene Simmons and Kiss in general. Kiss is the most overrated rock band in the history of mankind. The most overrated, one of the most talentless bands ever. They are more flash than substance. They are not creative with their lyrics. And this is mainly Gene that I'm targeting. I mean, because it's like, I've heard a few interviews with Gene, like on radio, like there's a morning radio show in Seattle that I used to hear a lot more when I worked a lot of earlier shifts, and I've just never seen it because the guy comes across as such a major egotist. And you gotta have an ego to succeed in rock or Hollywood or any of that kind of stuff. But there's a difference between having an ego and knowing that you're good and that you've earned this, and having an ego like I'm better than everybody else. Gene, you've been living off off of your silly, stupid music that you made in the 70s for the past 40 years. I mean, yeah, they made music in the 80s, but they made so much shit music. So much goddamn shit music. I have never understood why Kiss has been seen as appealing. And don't give me any of the... If you're a fan of Kiss, fine. Cool. That's fine if you're a fan of Kiss. That's awesome. If they positively influenced you, that's great. But guess what? To me, Kiss is overrated shit. Absolute fucking shit. Their most popular songs, some of their least popular songs. There's a reason why their stock dropped significantly, like, pretty quickly. Because the act got stale. People saw through it. And it's fine if people want to dress up like Kiss or whatever. Don't do it in WCW because that would be horrible. Don't show up as, don't have Kiss show up on WCW Nitro because that was terrible. Yeah, the Kiss Demon. That was, any wrestling fans remember the Kiss Demon? I'm not knocking the guy playing him. The character itself was bad. I believe Dale Torborg. If I got his name wrong, I mean, not that he's going to watch this. If I got his name wrong, I apologize. But, I mean, I never cared for the character. The character was shit. Not the actor playing, not the wrestler playing him. I mean, he showed up on an episode of Impact Wrestling like in 2005 and seemed nice enough. But Gene Simmons, it's like, okay, he's going to go after this, and he wants to put it on stuff like toilet paper figures, since Kiss's music has been and always will be shit. You can say it'll be playable forever, fine. I mean, there's some music that will be playable forever, and there's some music that's shit that will be playable forever. Now, I do want to say this. Is Kiss are they the worst group ever, rock group ever? They're the worst one that has gotten the most pub, in my opinion. I can't see any... It's like, you take away, like, the makeup and that kind of shit and the weird armor, and what you have is a bunch of guys that, just are average musicians. In my opinion, average musicians. I'm not saying I can get up on stage and do that kind of stuff. That's why I never tried to get into music. I mean, I tried to do band and jazz band back in, middle school and high school. I was decent, but I could never be a musician. I didn't have the passion for it. Do I blame Gene for trying to make the most money off of his brand, off of the Kiss brand? No, because that's what he's been doing. He's been prostituting the Kiss brand for a number of years. And if you're going to put in the miles, and you're going to put in the effort, and you're going to tour, and you're going to do all that or whatever, and you want to reap the rewards of it, okay, I get that. And I get that with any musician. Though people like Bieber and Miley Cyrus are not musicians and therefore do not earn the money that they have. But that's another story for another day. Gene doing this, though. Okay, you want to try to patent that? People in Hollywood do it. People in music do it. Wrestlers do it. Universities have done it since way before you ever did it. You're going to try to go after them? No, I don't think you're going to succeed with that. This, to me, will the U.S. Patent Office okay this? Maybe. I don't know. I don't care. He's not going to reap much more money off of this stuff anyway, because he's already made an insane amount of money. And he wants to even put it on coffins. Figures, Kiss's music has been basically dead for decades. It's just, I'm sorry, Kiss is just absolute shit, and I've never understood the appeal of it. If people like it, fine. Cool. I like if people like stuff and it influences them positively. But I've just never understood why Kiss is good. I've just never understood why people like Kiss. I have not. Gene Simmons, I mean, good luck with this, but it just shows that you're nothing more than a rock prostitute, and that's all you're ever going to be. And it figures, prostitute, given who you married or whatever, and who was on, Gene Simmons' Family Jewels, his wife, former wife. I don't know if they're still married. I don't care. I think her name was Shannon or something like that. Shannon Tweed? I don't remember. But it just figures that, Gene would know about being a prostitute. I mean, that seems pretty fair. I just don't get it. I don't get it with Gene Simmons. I don't get it with this. To me, he's just being a money-grubbing whore, and it's just terrible. It's absolutely terrible, but whatever. Whatever. Best of luck to you, Gene. Just keep shitting on your own legacy. Not that your music didn't shit on, not that your music didn't shit on rock music and metal music and all that in absolute spades. It made the pile of shit in Jurassic Park 1 seem like, a small amount. Because that's what Kiss's music is absolute dog shit. So, good luck, Gene, but you're a fucking money-grubbing whore. Now, moving on from that rant went a lot longer than I expected. Floyd Mayweather, the fucking woman beater coward that I hope one day gets his skull caved in. And he should. For beating women, you should get your skull caved in. Versus Conor McGregor in a boxing match. First off, there's no way it's going to take place in the UFC. Anybody that thought that was going to happen. Floyd wouldn't actually want to get in an actual fight because he's a coward and he doesn't know how to actually fight. He doesn't know how to fight people. He just runs away like a coward. Now, to be fair, in boxing, you do whatever you can legally to get the win. And that's what Floyd has done. He has built his own brand. He has built his empire. The guy can't read for shit. And I find that kind of funny that for all that money, he still can't read. And I'm not saying illiteracy is funny. I'm saying it's funny with that guy, with that ego, that he can't read. Him versus Conor McGregor. The amount of money that's going to be made on this fight is insane. Because people are still going to tune in to watch Floyd lose. I'm not saying I'm going to tune in because I guess the rumored pay-per-view price, depending on what report you believe, is $100. Which probably means they're going to bump it up to $120, $150. And unless I can get about 3 friends to go in on this, I don't think that I'm going to watch it. Unless they have a decent undercard. If they have, an undercard underneath it, like a few other fights, then maybe I'll feel like something's worth it. But who's going to win ultimately? Floyd. I don't like the guy. I want to see him get his brains beaten in, especially by a bunch of women, so he can know what it feels like to get beaten up. Because he should get beaten up, especially for what he's done to women. One in particular, where I believe he went to jail. Or at least if he didn't go to jail, he should have. With Floyd, it's hard to get through fiction. Because the guy is so crazy with how he's built his brain. And he's smart. I'll give him that much. He's smart in how he's built his brain. He's not smart in how he can't read. But seriously, Floyd is a piece of shit. And even though he's going to win, and he'll win, he's going to win, no doubt. Will Conor land a few punches? Sure. He could. He could land a few punches. I'm not saying that he's going to land many. And I certainly would not be surprised to see. If this is more than a 2-round fight, I will be amazed. If Conor somehow shocked the world, could you imagine what that would do for boxing? Boxing's already kind of... it's about as high as it's going to be until it can get more mainstream promotion. I mean, it's got Showtime Boxing and stuff like that, and kickboxing is pretty good. And some other people, there's some good fighters out there. What little I've been able to see of boxing in the past few years, there's some pretty damn good fighters out there. Pretty damn good boxers. The problem is it does not have the big mass appeal it used to, which is really sad. Because boxing, I mean, in the 70s, 80s, 60s, 70s, 80s, and even the early 90s, boxing was fucking king. You could not get away from ESPN or any sports coverage. You could not get away from boxing. And it's just sad this is what it's become. But people are still going to tune in. Floyd is going to win. If it goes past 2 rounds, I'll be amazed. I think it's actually going to be first round. I think it's going to be a first round knockout. Even though Floyd doesn't like to hit men, he only likes to hit women. Yeah, I'm going to keep saying that. But bravo to both guys for making money. Conor's going to make a shit ton of money, more than he did in the UFC, because Dana White and the new bosses are being, penny pinchers. And yeah, I know the new owners spent I think $4.3 billion to buy the UFC. They overpaid for it because they're going to lose their ass on it. But Floyd's going to win. And that's just my thoughts on it. I mean, am I surprised the fight's actually happening? Actually, yeah. Yeah, I am, honestly. I'm really surprised this is happening. But, whatever. Works out for both guys, great. Maybe Floyd can use some of that damn money and actually go get reading lessons. Instead of having, kids that are 5 years old that could school him. Floyd's a piece of shit, and I will never not say that he's a piece of shit. The guy's just trash. And anybody that says, oh, it's about race. No, it's not. I don't care that Floyd's black. I don't. I saw it was something Stephen A. Smith said on First Take, that he feels it's race related when it comes to Floyd. No, it's not race related. I mean, if some people want to make it race related, that's their problem. For me and for the vast majority of people, no, Floyd's a piece of shit, a woman-beating piece of shit. And he's not the only athlete that has beaten women. There's the former Giants kicker, Josh Brown, I want to say. I might have that name wrong. I blocked the name out of my mind because I was disgusted by what he said. What he did was worse because it was over a period of whatever. I mean, the bottom line is domestic abuse is no joke. And any man who does hit a woman, any man who hits a woman in general, it's bad. If you're going to take advantage of a woman and beat her, you're a piece of shit. But Floyd in particular, for the fact that he flaunts his wealth, it's if you actually use some of that money towards domestic violence, awareness, and actually tried to learn. But learning would require you to read Floyd, so I know you're not capable. It's not like Floyd's ever going to watch this. I can't stand the fact that people want to make it about race. When no, Floyd's just a piece of shit. Floyd could be a fucking alien for all I care. If he's going to beat women, then that's what's going to be the problem. And of course, Stephen A. Smith has to make it about race. I mean, he's sure not going to make it about who has the best hair, because Stephen A. Smith's hairline is starting to go back like this. It's actually starting to resemble LeBron's, which is really bad. And I respect Stephen A. Smith for being outspoken like he is, but I do not agree with him here. It's not about race. With the vast majority of people. Some people want to make it about race. That's wrong. Don't see race. See it as people being people. And when they're shitty people and when they're good people. And I'm not saying Conor's the best person in the world. But until it comes out that Conor has beaten women, unless there's reports I'm just not aware of, Floyd's a bigger piece of shit, but he will win. Now, and this episode's going a lot longer than I expected, but I just saw on the ESPN ticker about Louisville University. They had a scandal with, I believe, dancers and prostitutes being brought to dorms and being brought to recruit players and this kind of stuff or whatever. You might as well look on ESPN, look on Google for proper articles and everything, but there was a lack of institutional control, and Pitino said he had no idea. Coach Rick Pitino, who has had pretty good success. And he had his own scandal, I believe, with cheating on his wife, if I remember right. And that was from a few years ago. But I believe, if I saw right, Louisville got a 4-year NCAA probation, which I believe means that even with their record, they can't make the tournament. And Rick Pitino got a 5-game ACC suspension. Meaning any in-conference games. in the 2017-2018 season, he cannot attend. 5 games. Should have been a full season. I mean, I don't know if Rick Pitino knew, but with all the stuff that came out about it, and I mean, it's a lot of kind of shady stuff. It's not as bad. I'm just going to say it's not as bad as the Baylor sexual assault stuff that's been going on. And by the way, Baylor's football program, sports programs in general, should be shut down given the death penalty because of all that stuff. But with Louisville, the fact that Rick Pitino says he didn't know, okay, maybe he didn't know. The bottom line is he's pretty much the boss. I mean, he's earned a lot of, say, high status from what he's done at that university and other universities and all the time that he's given to head coaching. He should have been suspended for a full season. Louisville, and I feel bad for some of the kids, especially some of the kids that had nothing to do with this. I feel bad for them, but the basketball program should have received a 4-year suspension. And that's exactly what should have happened. And fortunately it did. Pitino should have been suspended for a full season. Is this the only university, that this stuff happens at? Oh God, absolutely not. There's all kinds of shady shit and whatever, and women being used, and athletes being pimped out by not being paid, but expected to go out there and play, and you can't make money off of your own jersey sales and stuff like that, which is ridiculous. There's a whole bunch of stuff that needs to be fixed with college sports in Division A, Division 1A, Division AA, Division AAA. There's a lot of stuff that needs to be fixed. But overall, the University of Louisville deserved this because of the mistakes of some assistant coaches and possibly the head coach. I think that if it is revealed that Rick Pitino did, maybe further investigation is done or other reports come out and it's revealed that Rick Pitino knew about this stuff, then he should be immediately, I would say suspended for a season. I'd can his ass. That's what I would do. Honestly, it's ridiculous what happened. But that would take a whole lot of stuff to get into. That's just my thoughts on it. So thank you, folks, for staying with this. So to recap, Louisville deserved what they got. Even though I feel bad for the athletes, it had nothing to do with it. Floyd Mayweather's a piece of shit, but he'll beat Conor McGregor. Probably in the second round, if not the first round. And Gene Simmons is a, rock prostitute. That's basically what he is. He's always going to be a prostitute because he just has to have more money because he's living off a reputation that he earned by shitting on rock music since the 70s. Anyway, folks, that's what I got to say. Do you agree, disagree? Like, share, comment, subscribe. My Twitter link is in the description. Been Real Honesty with John Ritlin. I'm John Ritlin. I'll see you soon.